Welcome back to the channel, guys. In this video, we're going to be going over the 10 best games of Week 6 on the college football slate. We're going to go over some stats and the point spreads and just everything else you need to know about each of these games. Counting down from number 10 to number 1. We're going to start off with number 10, going to the Big 12. Kansas versus UCF. UCF is a 2-point favorite on the road at Kansas. This game is pretty decent on the matchup rating scale. As you can see, some of the stats: the offensive rank, the defensive rank, record strength, current strength of schedule, and what teams are win-loss when they are the certain spread of each game. I'll go over those in detail in just a second for each of these games. UCF is 16-7 when they are away favorites, while Kansas has not been good in recent years. They're 3-17 win-loss since 2018 as a home underdog. So if I had to take a spread in this one, I think Kansas might, break the trend and beat the spread as well as win the game outright. And then I think they would improve to 5-1 and continue a back-to-back repeat of their great seasons in football. Number 9, the Scarlet Red versus the Badger Red over there up in Madison. Rutgers versus Wisconsin. 25. Wisconsin is rated 25th in the power ratings. Rutgers is rating a surprisingly high 41st. They are 4-1. This is their best start, I do believe, for Rutgers in over a decade. Not only in the Big Ten but overall. They are a 13-point underdog on the road and in Madison. The over-under this game is very low, 44 points. That is a typical Big Ten West, like Wisconsin versus Iowa, just slug it out. Maybe there might be 4 touchdowns total in this game, kind of, matchup. But I think Rutgers is pretty decent this year. They're much improved. They have the Rutgers of old. Their record strength is 38th. The record strength is how hard it is for an opponent or an actual team to achieve the record they have. They're 38th, but their strength of schedule they played is 104, so that's kind of misleading. But saying that, Rutgers is 5-17 since 2018 as a road underdog, while Wisconsin is 25-8 as a home favorite. If I had to take a gander at this one, I think Wisconsin is going to win. I think Rutgers will cover. I think Rutgers is a much improved team, and if they can just get their quarterback to be decent, and efficient, I think they'll be. They might even try to get to. They'll definitely be bowl eligible this year. I do believe they'll get to bowl eligibility, and they might even get the 7 wins. So Wisconsin wins, Rutgers covers. That's my prediction. Number 8, going to the ACC. Number 14, North Carolina versus 4-1 Syracuse. UNC is rated 18th in the power ratings. Syracuse is rated 36. UNC is a 9.5-point favorite at this point. The over-under is 59. So obviously, UNC is a lot better in offense, 20th versus 48th. Defense, they're 51st, but Syracuse isn't that much better at 36. The record strength, you see 11 versus 37. Syracuse, I think, in the preseason had the easiest strength of schedule in all of the Power 5. And right now, they currently play the 93rd toughest schedule, which is, one of the easiest right now. I think everything's going against Syracuse in this game. You see that down at the bottom, 4-16 as a away underdog, while UNC is 19-5 as a home favorite. I think UNC not only wins this game, but they cover. They get the 10-point spread, and they move to 5-0 for the second year in a row. Number 7 out of the Pac-12, Washington State facing number 13 facing an unranked UCLA. This is Washington State's highest ranking in the AP Top 25 since 2018, in the second to last week of the season when they were 10-1 and Gardner Minshew was their quarterback. That bringing it way back, it's only 5 years, but it seems like it's been 50 years. How long ago that's been? Washington State surprisingly 4-0 at the start of the season. UCLA 3-1. They both played pretty easy schedules. 56 for UCLA. Washington State is 84th. I think Washington State is at the point right now where this is where their first true test, where they're gonna tell people whether they're a true contender in the Pac-12 or if they just feasted off early season success and they're just a pretender. If I had to pick one, this is basically a toss-up for me. I have no idea who would win this or who would even cover. I would choose Washington State the spread though. Vegas thinks otherwise with UCLA, but I think Washington State will cover and they will win the game outright and move to 5-0. Number 6, Georgia versus Kentucky, one of the more unexpected 5-0 teams in the country. Kentucky Wildcats, after they dismantled Florida, I think they had 400 yards rushing last week, 280 by their starting running back alone. 5-0. I think this is the second time since 2018. Was it 2021 or 2019? One of those 2 years when they were ranked in the top 10 when they faced Georgia. Really good year. I think it was 2018. Sorry. But as you see down below, the reason they're 5-0 in this season is because they played the 128th strength of schedule. Yes, they did beat a quote ranked Florida team. Florida's not that good. They have 2 losses already. But the other squads were Ball State, Eastern Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and I forget the fourth team. I'm missing that. But very, very easy schedule. I mean, you'd have to be just one of the worst teams to not be 4-0 against the other schedule besides Florida. So defensive rank not bad, 17th. Offensive rank's 46, but Georgia, I mean, they're 6th in offense, 2nd in defense. The only thing I have to say about Georgia though is just they're not the Georgia of old. Yes, they're 5-0. They've pulled it out in the second half. They have probably the best offensive player in the country right now in Brock Bowers. I mean, that dude's just a mismatch nightmare. He's just a monster. But I think the last 2 years, I think they average 1 whole yard less per carry on offense rushing. And I think they're giving up at least, I think, 50 to 60 more rushing yards per game, as well as like a whole 1 to 2 yards per game, yards per carry average on defense. So I mean, they're just not as dominant as they have been in years past. Even though I still think to be the man, you have to beat the man, and Georgia's still the man right now. And they're 15-point favorite right now. The over/under is 47.5, which is not surprising for this kind of game. I think Kentucky is a pretender. I think they're not for real. I think they just got some gaudy stats over really, really bad teams. I think Georgia covers this, and I think they move to 6-0. And Kentucky, I don't think they get exposed, but I just think Georgia covers this. Look at the bottom there. As a home favorite since 2018, Georgia is 32-1. 32-1. The only loss was to South Carolina in that 2018 game, if you guys remember. I think they won 20-17 or lost 20-17. So they've been absolutely unbeatable at home in the last 5 years. I think Georgia covers again. Like I said, to move to 6-0. Number 5 on this list, LSU versus Missouri. Missouri comes in ranked 21st in the country, ranked ahead of LSU, who's 23rd. LSU is projected to be one of the teams that can make a deep shot, a decent shot at the CFP again. Especially because of their schedule they played, but they already have 2 losses. The one to Florida State, they just got dismantled in the second half. And last week, my God, they gave up, I think, at least 720 yards on defense. If you have to correct me on that, 720 yards they gave up to Ole Miss last week. That is absolutely insane for a team that's supposed to compete for a CFP spot. Right now, they're a 4-point favorite on the road. To Missouri. The over/under 65, very high for this game. So that's surprising. I don't know. If I had to choose one, I think Missouri might get the upset in this game. I think they're just. I don't think they're a pretender. I don't think they're that good, but I don't think they're a pretender either. I think LSU is very overrated coming into this year, and I think they've shown that they got their. They've shown their ass, and they just. I don't know. I just don't believe in LSU, and I think Missouri. This game might prove that they're actually for real and a true contender in the SEC East. So we'll have to see. But if I had to choose one, I would pick Missouri in the spread in this one. And number 4, flying very low under the radar. Number 10, Notre Dame versus number 25, Louisville. Just like Kentucky, they're 5-0, but their strength of schedule is very weak, 102nd ranked. But I still think they're a good team. 30th in offense, 25th in defense, Louisville is. Notre Dame's not too far ahead, 17th in offense, 9th in defense, but those bottom 2 stats are the biggest outliers in this matchup, which I think will be the deciding factor. Notre Dame is 16-1 as a away favorite in the last 5 years, while Louisville is 3-10 as an underdog at home. So not only does that not bode well for Louisville, it bodes extremely well for Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame covers in this one. And they win the game outright. They move to 6-1. Louisville gets their first loss at home versus Notre Dame. Number 3, Ohio State versus Maryland. A very, I want to say a highly touted matchup, but it could be a trap game for Ohio State. Maryland has looked very well the last 2.5 years. Since 2021, they have a really good offense. They just can't put it together for a full season. Everybody's saying that Talua might be the difference. Only thing I have to say about that is the dude puts up gaudy stats against the low ranked teams that they play. It's Indiana, Rutgers, Michigan State, all the crappy teams in the Big Ten, as well as their crappy non-conference schedule. The dude puts up massive numbers. I mean, if you look at it, sure, it's close to 300 yards a game. But when he faces the big three, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State, he disappears. He doesn't have that good games, and I think his touchdown interception ratio against those three opponents is basically even. And as you see, Maryland is 130 ranked strength of schedule. That means only 3 teams have had easier schedule played so far than the Maryland Terrapins. And once you know it, that Maryland's putting up gaudy stats, well, they're playing crappy teams. When you play Towson, Michigan State, and Indiana like they did last week, I mean, of course you're going to put up good stats against them. But look at the bottom 2 stats. Maryland is 2-15 as the away underdog, while Ohio State is 31-2 as a home favorite. I mean, those just there's nothing else that'll be a bigger variance on this list than you'll see that right there. Ohio State's 20-point favorite, as they should be, as you see at the bottom, and over/under is 57. I would definitely choose the over in this game, but I think Ohio State. I think Maryland covers, but Ohio State's definitely going to win. I could be totally wrong. I think Ohio State could, just blow out Maryland. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think Maryland covers, Ohio State wins. Number 2, one of the most surprising spreads of the entire week: Alabama at Texas A&M. Alabama's come to this game ranked 11th. A&M's unranked, but the power rankings show that A&M's 17th and Alabama's 7th. Alabama's only a 2-point favorite, guys. This is, I don't know what Vegas is seeing, but they're seeing something, and all their analytics, their stats, everything. I mean, according to this, Alabama's ranked 5th in offense, has a number 1 defense. I mean, this is just analytical rating. This isn't mine, so I don't know how they're ranked that high in both of those, but I mean, that's insane to me. A&M's not bad, 22nd and 15th in offensive defense. Alabama's 20-4 as the away favorite since 2018. I don't know if that's a bigger surprise, or that the fact that A&M's only 3-3 as a home underdog. That means they've only been a favorite at home 6 times in the last 5 years. So I don't know. It's kind of. It's difficult to me to be which way I should choose in this. I don't want to come on here early and say that A&M's going to make an upset, but it's kind of hard to not think that way. It's not a legit possibility. And Alabama really hasn't been a world beater. I don't know. I'm going to stay away from the pick 'em this, guys. You decide. But sorry about that. We're going to head to number 1 game of the week: Texas versus Oklahoma. One of the biggest matchups of the entire season. As you see in that middle there, out of a scale of 0 to 100, the matchup rating is 96.2. As the season stands, the highest rated matchup so far. And I put my stamp of approval on the CFP playoff, as this has major CFP playoff implications. Texas is a 5-point favorite. They come in at number 3 in the AP poll. Oklahoma is number 12. And the composite rankings, in all of the composite 85 different rankings, Oklahoma is number 6, but Texas is number 1. Texas is the number 1 rated team in all of these power ratings, and it's not surprising to me. They played the toughest schedule to achieve what they played at 5-0. They have one of the best offenses in the country. They have one of the best defenses in the country. They're just a really good team right now. They played the 14th rated strength of schedule. They had a great fourth quarter against Kansas last week. Obviously, they have one of the best wins of the season against Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So, just this, I would say a stark contrast, but 14th circuit schedule for Texas, 71st for Oklahoma. I mean, they put up a lot of good numbers, but it's been against really crappy teams. Dylan Gabriel is playing lights out, one of the best stat machines I've seen in recent memory for him. I don't know. Vegas sees this as a really close game. I don't see that as a close game. I think Texas is that good of a team, and I think Oklahoma is a fraud. And I think Texas will definitely cover in this game. 5 points, that's... it's a neutral site game. The spreads, like you see below, are kind of even, 8-5 and 6-6. But Texas is just a new breed this year, man. I believe in them, and I think they're a good team. And I think they're going to shock a lot of people, and I think this might be at least, an 8 to 10 point game, if not more. And I think Texas wins outright and moves to 6-0 and takes a stranglehold on the Big 12. What do you guys think of this list? Will there be any major upsets this week? Do you think Maryland has a chance? Do you think Oklahoma has a chance? Is A&M? Let me know in the comments below. Who's the most surprising team? Anything else, guys? Just let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, please, and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for all my future videos related to the matchups each week. And I'll see you guys this weekend with all my instant reactions on my shorts. Just look into those, and I'll see you next week, guys, for the matchups for Week 7.